Hello Mayhem Makers, I'm Mindy with Quilting Mayhem, and today I want to talk about the wing clipper ruler. I love this tool. I use it a lot just for even trimming up my flying geese, no matter what method I make them. But today I want to talk about how to make the no waste flying geese method where you're making 4 at once. And I love that their instructions that come with the ruler have chart for your basic flying geese sizes, what size squares to use, and fabulous written instructions. So you don't really need me. You can always follow these instructions, but I'm a visual person, so I like to kind of show you how it works in actual person. So you start with the main fabric of your flying geese. It is a larger square, depending what size you want to do. So this is what's going to be the main part of that flying goose. And then these are my background colors. So you're going to have one main and then 4 backgrounds for this technique. And let me show you how this works. So I'm going to move you this way to my table. So we're just going to do exactly how they say. So you lay your background squares one across from the other. All right. And then you're going to draw a diagonal line through from point to point, and I'm just using the wing clipper to do that. All right, and this is just, my awesome friction pen. This is a heat erase type pen, which I love. So if I make a mistake, I can just iron it. It will go away. Just be careful if you're using it for marking quilting, because sometimes it will leave what they call a ghost line. Now, if you're worried about shifting, take your pins and pin those squares down. If you're worried. If you're new or it's your first time trying it, this might be the better way to go. Otherwise, you just take it without the pins straight to your machine, which is what I'm going to do. So, I have a pin just so I can do this. What will happen is I'm going to sew 1/4 inch from each side of this line, and then we'll cut it apart. So I'll show you how it looks as soon as it's done being sewn. All right, so your 2 squares and 1/4 inch from either side. All right, we're going to cut this apart and then we're going to press it. Now their instructions say to press towards the smaller triangles. And you know me, generally I'm a press open kind of person. But because I'm following their ruler, their technique, I am going to press it towards the smaller triangles just to make sure that I have success in creating these blocks, because sometimes there are reasons for pressing certain ways. So we'll take this over this lovely little ironing station. I still am going to starch my seams. Once I started doing this, I can't stop. It just seems to make them better. And this mister is just amazing because it just does nice fine mist. This is a mix, 1/3 flatter, 1/3 best press, 1/3 water. I usually pick different scents of my flatter spray. So right now we're rocking pineapple, and then I use an unscented best press spray and of course water. And so, because I don't want too many competing scents trying to take over this block. And you can do everything unscented. So we're just going to press and set that seam. It gets those threads nice and tight in there. And then press to the small triangle. So I'm going to do 1 and then 2. So it's going to look like that. And we'll do this next guy. So hopefully this is going to make everything nice and successful for us when we're done making all the geese. And yes, I am a steam user. You don't have to be. Not everybody does. Some people feel that their irons spit and all that kind of stuff if they're using steam, and they don't like icky stuff that might come out of their iron. To each their own. All right. So what's going to happen is we're going to lay this on there. Right in the middle. Okay, so we're going to make this funky little mountain thing going on, and then we're going to draw a diagonal line through this square. So this background square that I've laid on here, we're going to, try to be diagonal. All right. Notice when I start marking, I kind of go from the middle outward. I just do that because sometimes when I try to start at this tip, it starts to drag the fabric. And so I seem to just have better success going center outward in my marking. Once again, Personal preference, whatever works for you. All right, we're going to sew this and be right back. All right, so it'll look like this. And guess who just figured out they actually cut their background squares 1/2 inch bigger than they were supposed to? That would be me. So understand, mistakes happen. We're going to let that go because guess what? It's going to be a great learning tool to show you on the trimming part. So thankfully, it's just giving us excess on the top once all is said and done. And I'll show you what's going to happen in the end. So for me, thankfully, we're not grabbing that seam ripper. I avoid that guy at all costs. He is not my friend. So we're just going to be happy in this. So cut them all apart. So we now have 4 of them that need to be pressed. And then we're going to trim them. So I'll be right back. All right. So here we go. So yeah, super tall flying geese, which, you know, really you could have fun with. You could still make a nice pinwheel block out of this that would just have extra space around that flying geese. No big deal. But we're going to trim this bad boy, all right? Because we want to show you how this ruler works. And I found that the easiest way to kind of show you some of this magic. So what I love is they have these kind of crosshairs where you're going to want that point. So this is what's going to give you that 1/4 inch on the top. And obviously, I have a lot more than I need. And then you're matching your bottom 2 sides on the straight lines, and all this excess is going to come off. But is this ruler not great that it has all of these things in it? So let's take it to the mat. Let's line it up the way it should be. This one's pressed a little funky. All right. So lining up crosshair here. Oops, where it belongs. Because we want 2.5 by 4.5. This one's a little big. So making sure I have that 1/4. Cleaning up the right side, the top side. All right. So I have my 1/4 inch here extra so I don't lose the tip of that flying geese. I have those 2 sides clean. I can flip it around and, sorry. Then the other markings are down below here. So we'll show you those guys. Then when you flip it, you're making sure that these 2 sides that are now straight are down here, and the nice big V of the goose is landing in this V on the ruler. All right, so that's all we're doing there. And then that way we're not losing any points. We just get rid of all that excess. We have a nice little flying geese, right? That has 1/4 inch on the top, and the points come right to these corners, and that's what you want. That's a successful flying geese. And now we have 4 of them, so we're just gonna trim the rest and make a fun quilt out of that. So hopefully that helps show you how things should go, how to use this ruler. As always, if you have questions, reach out. Email us at info@quiltingmayhem.com. Come see us at the store, message us through Facebook, Instagram, any of the social medias. We're gladly here to help. Just let us know. If you're struggling, it's not working, definitely let me know. I'll help you out. We can video chat, whatever it takes, to make sure that your geese are nice and happy. All right? So hope this worked for you, and have a lovely day and keep on stitching.